Hello Internet, and welcome back to Financial Journey. I can hardly believe it, but we're already into March, which means it's time for our net worth update. In these videos, I will be detailing the current state of my family's finances using actual values. At my wife's request, because of that transparency, we will be remaining anonymous at this time. This will be our second net worth update. If you missed our January update, I would recommend checking that one out first, as in the interest of time, I won't be rehashing all of the details of each of our accounts. I'll leave a link to it up top and in the description below if you'd like to check it out. Without further ado, let's jump right in. As always, net worth is the total value of all your assets, less any liabilities you have. There's a few different nuances in the way people will calculate this, but for the purposes of this channel, we're doing the basic what you own minus what you owe. Let's start with our assets. For our assets, we're really focusing on the big ticket items such as our home and vehicles, rather than including smaller value items such as designer apparel, electronics, furniture, and the like. As you can see, I've already filled in where we were at the end of last month. Let's start with what hasn't changed. Our house, car, and emergency fund have held relatively consistent over the past month. The house is still not listed on Zillow, so this is just the purchase price and will remain steady until we get some additional updates. Despite moving $8,000 into one of our investment accounts, our cash reserves have actually grown to $68,300, an increase of nearly $14,000, largely due to my annual bonus from work. Moving on to our non-retirement investments, due to some swings in the market, this essentially held steady, and the only change was an increase of just over the $8,000 that we added. Finally, we have our HSA, which, despite our continued contributions, has decreased in value as expected, as we've begun paying off deductibles for our medical expenses. Overall, this dropped $800 to just over $6,000. Switching gears to our retirement assets, these began the month at just over $100,000 in value, and after contributions, company match, and gains are now worth right around $105,550. And our final asset is made up of our unvested accounts. Accounts which, if I were to leave my job today, I would not be able to take the value with me. Because a large percentage of these assets are stock options, a highly leveraged type of investment, this value can be quite volatile. Something we certainly saw this month. Despite gains towards my pension, these accounts lost over $3,500 in value in total. Taken together, our assets increased by $22,339 this month to a total value of $923,453. As with last month, I'll also be tracking my vested assets, which, due to this month's loss in the unvested accounts, is actually a little bit better, increasing to a total value of almost $836,000, a nearly $26,000 gain. Alright, enough of the good stuff, let's talk about liabilities. No new liabilities this month, and knock on wood, we won't have any crop up throughout this process. I guess a potential exception would be if I were to purchase an investment real estate property, but that's a question for another day. This month, our progress was slow and steady. On the car and house, we're paying just our minimum payments, wanting to draw out the incredibly low interest rates of 0.9% and 3.125% respectively as long as possible. Rather than making extra payments, we increased our investments to hopefully arbitrage the difference in gains. Together, these liabilities decreased by around $1,400. For my student loans, I've taken a slightly different approach, and although the interest rates are low right now, as these have variable interest rates, I've just rolled in the minimum payments from student loans that I've already paid off, and now am paying a little over $200 a month towards these. At this rate, the $3,380 should be paid off in the next 16 months. But if interest rates rise back above 5%, I'll probably just pay them off in full. That just leaves our credit cards. As I've said before, we charge most of our expenses to credit cards, but despite discussing our current balances here, these are paid off in full each month so that we never pay any interest on these balances. At $2,475, This month's charges were a bit higher than last month's due to a family emergency prompting a last-minute flight. Putting it all together, our liabilities dropped this month to just under $478,000, leaving us with a total net worth of $444,546, an increase of just under $24,000. Looking only at vested funds, we fared a little better, and our total net worth sits at just over $357,000, representing an increase of around $27,500. Putting all of this into perspective, we're now at 44.5% of our near-term goal to reach $1 million before age 40, an increase here of about 2.5% relative to last month. Obviously, this would get us there well ahead of schedule, but unfortunately, I don't get a bonus every month, so I of course anticipate that this is likely an outsized gain. Likewise, we are inching ever closer to our long-term $4 million goal, up to 11.1% here at the end of February. But as with any long-term goal, I certainly don't anticipate reaching this for a few decades at best. And there you have it. February is behind us, and it was a bit of a mixed bag. Obviously, the company bonus made a huge impact, but the ebbs and flows of the market definitely made themselves known this month as well. As we're in it for the long haul, these market fluctuations are really just background noise. My favorite way to look at this actually comes from the Money Guy show here on YouTube, where they describe market volatility as playing with a yo-yo while walking up a mountain. Sure, the yo-yo moves up and down, but the overall course is ultimately upwards. So, my beautiful watchers, did I miss anything? Are you tracking your net worth? Has your progress so far this year met your expectations for 2021? What content would most benefit you in the weeks ahead? Let me know in the comments section down below. As always, I hope you were able to pull some value, or at least some entertainment, from the content provided here. If so, all we ask is that you hit the like button down below to help the algorithm bring our content to more viewers. And consider becoming a subscriber to continue following along on this financial journey with us. We're releasing more content every week, so ring the bell if you want to be notified when we do. I'll see you in the next one.